So hello, I hope it's gonna be okay. I'll try to not move the microphone here too much. Welcome to this new video. My name is Natasha, I'm 24 years old and I'm currently doing my final last year architecture at the university in Europe. Actually, I'm living in Brussels. And I've been traveling around recently to France and also to Japan, as you saw or not in my previous video from my photography journey in Japan. So I thought about talking about maybe how I got into photography. I started my photography journey with film cameras, and it was kind of an unexpected thing because I started in 2021 when I got my first film camera, and yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere because during COVID I used to do a lot of walks like a lot of people. Since I keep walking through the same area over and over, I started noticing those small little things that I hadn't seen before. And at first, I was just using my phone, like everyone, to capture those little moments. It was kind of fine, but somehow I wanted to do something more tangible, I guess. So just raw in the moment stuff. I didn't want to overthink it. So what's actually funny is that I asked my dad for my first film camera as a Christmas gift, and he didn't think that I'd stick to it, and I can't blame it because I also wasn't sure either. But once I got into it, I knew I wanted to keep going. So this is my first film camera. I'm not really using it anymore because actually this is broken. I cannot really close it properly, but this camera, I use it for 4 years now, and I bought it in a second-hand store in the center. So yeah, I'm gonna show you some of my early work with this camera. And eventually, I even found a second camera just not long after. So after getting the camera, I didn't realize right away, but that's when my interest in photography really took off. And I started using my camera as much as I could. I had no idea what I was doing at the start, like everyone else I think. And I made so many mistakes, like my first roll of films completely ruined. I couldn't roll them properly, and even some of the shots that I thought would be amazing turned out, well, not great. Actually, I wasn't born with a knife for this, and I'm still figuring it out as I go. Still, it hasn't been easy. There have been times where I felt really frustrated, especially when I messed up a shot or wasted a roll of films, because it's just a part of the process, and everyone can actually make mistakes and nothing can be perfect. That's pretty cheesy, but I think that's true in a way. And yeah, every mistake is a chance to learn something new, and honestly, I'm not in a rush for it. So at first, I didn't really know what my style was, and I'm still actually not sure of it. I'm just trying new stuff all the time. But when I started, I was more, because I'm doing architecture studies, I also took a lot of architecture photos. I started photographing buildings, streets, because that's what I knew from architecture. that was like more natural for me to start by like this. Also, that I tried to take a picture of my friends or random things that just caught my eyes. And I didn't really know about composition back then. I was just shooting whatever felt right in the moment. And also because film is limited, I had to be picky about what was worth capturing. And in a way, it made me slow down and really think about each shot, which was a good lesson in itself. And I tried different styles too, and it took a while to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. After a while, and after traveling a lot and discovering new things, I think what's now really drew me is capturing the everyday life or the little genuine moments in the streets. That's my main focus for now. Matcha break. Okay. But I'm still very much a beginner because when I look at my early work, I kind of cringe a bit because I had no idea what I was doing, and actually I'm still learning. And there are out there so many photographers that master their craft and are really, really good at what they're doing. And I'm definitely not one of them. Actually, my goal is not to become a professional, and I don't say also I'm still better than everyone else and you should learn from me. I just want to share my thought about photography and also just how my journey started and how I just see photography in itself. Of course, it's a passion, also it's a hobby, and I think that it's just something that I enjoy to do when I travel or even if I'm at home. I like to do some photography sometimes from time to time, but maybe someday I'll become better. I hope so. So yes, I'm definitely not a professional, or at least not yet, and I'm still in the process to become better, but I'm okay with that. But I think photography, just for me, it's just something really fun. Yeah, it's something that you can actually share with people. But for today's video, I wanted to share with you some of my early photos and early photography. They are far from perfect, but they are meaningful to me. What I love the most about film photography is the moment they capture. It's how each photo holds more than just an image. It captures a feeling, a memory, and when I look back at some of my early photos, sometimes I can remember how I felt that day and also what the weather was like, and sometimes even my mood. And of course, film photography has its challenges. Sometimes the lighting can be really off, or there have been times when the lighting was off or I didn't know how a shot would turn out, for example. But I remember one of my class trips to the north of France where the weather was terrible, so cloudy, like the city was so like gray and kind of sad in a way. So yeah, everything looked kind of industrial and I wasn't sure how the photos would turn out. But when I got them developed, they had this moody vibe that was really, really nice actually. I wasn't expecting that, and I think that's the unpredictable magic of film, because you don't always know what the results are gonna be and what you're going to get. So yes, I started by using black and white negatives because they were cheaper and easier to work with at first, and eventually I moved to color later. But color negatives are just a little bit more difficult to use and to work with because, and actually they still are for me, because it depends so much on the environment, the lighting, and also the weather and so much more. So it took me a while to figure out how to use them. But now, as I keep learning, I want to push myself a little bit further and starting by using more digital cameras like the one that I'm currently using. I used this camera for my first trip to Japan in September 2024. I would say like the photos turned out kind of great for a first try, but like there's a lot of features that I haven't used yet. I'm still learning how to edit in Lightroom or Photoshop and how to use the camera more properly. I think also it's when I travel that I use my camera the most, and also that's where actually I learn the most with the cameras and with the photography in general. So I know that photography is still something fun for me, and I'm just taking one step at a time, knowing that there's still a lot of things to learn and to discover.